Hello everybody, I am Hayden Balgavy in this afternoon. Joining me is Nathan Scott in the Weather Center tracking these cold conditions. Nathan, we said it at 4:30 this morning. We're saying it again at noon. It's still cold outside.
Oh yeah, even with all that sunshine out there, it's deceiving. You step outside and you can feel those cold conditions. We're 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So where's that place us temperature-wise? We're still stuck into the 30s across many areas. 41 in Arkadelphia, 36 here in the capital city, 37 in Batesville, and that wind is still out there as well. So we are still contending with a wind chill, or feels like number that is around freezing in some areas. Feels like 34 in Stuttgart, feels like 37 in Russellville, and feels like only 29 in Mountain Home. Highs today, we'll try to go for 46, but that may be a struggle to reach. I think a lot of locations in northeast Arkansas will be stuck into the 30s. You'll warm up into the low 50s in southwest and south Arkansas. Tomorrow, expecting the chance of rain to enter the forecast. Not everybody's going to see wet weather, though. I'll have the forecast details on that coming up.
In a THV 11 update as we approach the winter season, the family of a well-known musician here in Little Rock still searching for answers nearly 10 years after his death. THV 11's Ashley Godwin shares more on the legacy of T.C. Edwards and the continued fight for justice.
I kind of adopted him as a brother, and he adopted me, and he would go to like Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays.
Mike Poe and T.C. Edwards were best friends. Now, 10 years after T.C. was murdered, he says the holidays can be a little harder without him.
He's a local legend. He is absolutely a treasure.
A fixture at Pizza D Action. He would perform with his band, T.C. and the Eddies. Mike says his friend had a strict schedule he would adhere to, sleeping during the day and working until the early morning hours, always walking home to his nearby house at the end of the night. But one night, he didn't make it. On December 7th, 2014, around 4 a.m., Little Rock police were called to do a security check to a house on Howard Street. That's where they found Edwards, shot and killed.
Call LRPD.
Mike makes a to-do list on his mirror every day. Checking with law enforcement is usually on the list.
It's pretty daunting, but I call these people once a week at least, and leave messages and voicemails and send emails.
Little Rock police say they are still investigating TC's case, but no new information has been released. Mike says he knows a possible suspect but needs help from the public and law enforcement to make an arrest.
I 1,000% know who did this, and I 1,000% know that the evidence is there in order to do something.
In the meantime, Mike continues to get answers, hoping one day he will be able to go home knowing his best friend's legacy and his music lives on.
It'd mean the world to me, you know, like it is what I live for.
In Little Rock, Ashley Godwin, THV 11 News.
Well, this afternoon we are hearing from lawyers representing the man pleading not guilty to shooting a man he caught inside a car with his teenage daughter. Now, just yesterday we reported Aaron Spencer appeared before a judge in a Lone Oak courtroom. There, he pleaded not guilty to the first-degree murder charge of 67-year-old Michael Fossler. Our team spoke with lawyers representing both parties, and they tell us more details are forthcoming as the case plays out in court.
We feel very confident that this community is going to come to Aaron's side because every one of them would have done the same thing for their child.
What's being put out there is not the whole story, and ethically I can't go much further than that.
The presiding judge issued a date to begin Aaron Spencer's jury trial that has been set for next year on March 19th. Another update this afternoon, Little Rock police are actively searching for this man on your screen. Antonio Coleman Jr. is wanted on 2 counts of criminal attempt to commit capital murder after opening fire in the Park Plaza Mall last Friday. Coleman is already due for an unrelated court appearance on Thursday. Now, if you see him or know of his whereabouts, you are urged to contact police. On the national stage, President-elect Donald Trump is tapping another Arkansan to join his incoming administration. Trump sharing yesterday that Little Rock native Warren A. Stevens will serve as the United States ambassador to the United Kingdom. Stevens spent nearly 4 decades working as president, chairman, and CEO of Stevens Incorporated. Governor Sarah Sanders has since praised him on his new position. Well, reactions continue to pour in surrounding President Biden's decision to issue a full pardon on behalf of his son. Natalie Brand has more from both sides of Congress.
President Joe Biden has still not answered questions about the unprecedented pardon of his son Hunter.
Mr. President, why did you pardon your son?
On Capitol Hill, even some Democratic lawmakers expressed surprise by the president's decision.
Disappointed in terms of the signal it sends to faith in our American system. And I'll leave it at that.
Republican Senator Susan Collins points out the president previously promised he would not pardon his son.
And now he's done just that. I would also believe that his decision further undermines the public's confidence in our judicial system.
Political experts describe Hunter Biden's full and unconditional pardon covering a 10-year period of time as unusually broad in scope.
What message do you think it sends heading into the next Trump administration?
I think what that does is it makes it easier potentially for President Trump to come into office and abuse the clemency power himself again, because now he can argue that presidents from both political parties have done it recently.
President-elect Donald Trump has alluded to pardons for January 6th defendants.
There's a serious issue with a number of people that are being unfairly detained, and each of those cases will be looked at individually.
CBS News has learned since Hunter Biden's pardon, more January 6th defendants have sought release from custody or delays in their trials, citing Trump's post on social media this weekend. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Happening in just under an hour, city leaders will join alongside the Department of Transportation, and they will celebrate the completion of the I-30 widening project. The new traffic pattern opened nearly a month ago, marking the end to what's been a project years in the making. Now, to officially celebrate the new traffic pattern, a ribbon-cutting ceremony takes place outside the Clinton Library at 1 o'clock. Our team will be there working to bring you new video during our evening coverage. And it's your chance to do a bit of good for the community as we honor Giving Tuesday. To help provide assistance, vending machines are going up in different places nationwide, including in Northwest Arkansas in Bentonville. It allows you to buy items like food and hygiene kits to provide for families in need. Of course, THV 11 doing our part to give a little back to our community, and we could use your help. We would love for you to consider donating to our traveling kettle. Proceeds go directly to the Salvation Army and their mission to help families this holiday season. Just text the word GIVE to 501-376-1111. Be sure to help out those in our community. Well, having more drinks, that usually can be typical during the holidays, but you should always consider your health this time of year. We explain the importance of monitoring your alcohol intake. That's ahead at 12:18.
The average high for this time of year is into the mid-50s, and we'll be well below that number today. Tomorrow, a little bit closer, but then another surge of cold air arrives here Thursday into Friday before a warm-up, I guess you could call it, happens going into the second half of the weekend early next week as temperatures get close to 60. With these ups and downs, there is a chance of rain. I'll let you know when our next chance of rain arrives coming up.